I'm Kim Severson, the Atlanta bureau chief for the New York Times. I recently took a trip to Sapelo Island, which is in a very remote part of an otherwise well-developed coast in the southeast United States. 97% of the island is owned by the state of Georgia, and there's a lot of marine research that goes on there. The rest of it is owned by a community of people who call themselves Geechees. As Cornelia Walker Bailey, the island's unofficial historian, will tell you, everyone here is a descendant of a slave who was brought to work on the rice plantation that once covered the island.
We acquired the land right after the Civil War. The people bought the land from various white landowners who had it before, and they bought it and kept it in the family and passed it down from generation to generation.
Now, the Geechee people are facing a new threat, and that is increased property taxes. The 50 or so people who live on the island are the largest continuous community of Geechee in the country, and this tax issue may be the thing that sends them under. Everybody who lives in McIntosh County, which includes Sapelo Island, is facing a big tax hike. In 2009, the state of Georgia froze property taxes. This year it got lifted, and the tax bills that resulted are a big shock.
Small mullet. Nope, you're the yellowtail.
Property owners who were used to paying a couple $100s a year in property taxes now have to pay $3,000 or $4,000. It's a 500 or 600% increase for some people. This is a poor community. There's not a lot of work here. People are elderly. Paying the bills is going to be tough. The county's argument is that property taxes on the island have been artificially low. Tax assessments are done by an assessor who looks at all the property in the county, and coastal land in the southeast United States is very valuable. So the problem is, how do you preserve a culture that is one of the most fragile cultures in the United States, while at the same time being an administrator of a fair and equitable county government?
We want to be treated equally when it comes to that taxing. If you're going to tax me, then give me good road service. If you're going to tax me, then pick up my garbage. You're going to tax me, then give me street lights. You want to tax me, then you provide water service, sewage service, fire service, and that sort of stuff. You're not going to provide me that kind of stuff, then don't tax me for it.
The people in Sapelo Island feel like they don't get the services that they should be getting for these increased taxes. Unlike mainland McIntosh County, garbage isn't collected by a garbage truck. People have to bring it to a dump. The one long paved road they have, they call the Audubon. Everything else are dirt roads. For some people whose mothers and grandfathers have lived on that land, they're now facing a real burden. Do they sell off parts of the land to help pay the tax burden on the other parts of the land so that their mom or their grandmother will have a place to live? But if they do that, it's going to drive all the property taxes up and cause their neighbors and friends to have higher tax bills. There's no clear-cut winner. Just about everybody who's had a tax increase has appealed. The county has not yet decided how it's going to respond to those appeals. Whether development pressures will take over Sapelo Island or whether they'll be able to continue their way of life is what's hanging in the balance.